Alright fans, welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage from Greensboro, North Carolina. Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvie, and Myron Schimmelman here with you. And the second half this evening, going to be action-packed. And topping it off, the RWL Rage Television Championship. On the line is Stefan von Berger, defends the title from T-Dog Tomasio.
I know some of you are saying, who? Listen, if you don't know who T-Dog Tomasio is, stick around and learn something.
But right now, let's have a look at events from a couple of weeks ago, right here on Rage. Back up to his feet. McKenzie counters with a kick. Follows it up with a left. And now a series of kicks to the chest. Lars Sullivan, wait a minute now. Lars Sullivan, no, wait, oh, disqualification right there.
Sullivan's got to be out of his mind.
5 minutes, 30 seconds. Referee Thomas Kanamura has disqualified Lars Sullivan. Your winner by disqualification, Tex McKenzie.
Look at this. Too Short isn't mad Sullivan cheated. Just mad he got caught by the ref.
Whoa, Too Short is hot. Wow. Long story short, Too Short, Popeye Scott Bell left the arena furious that night. Tonight may very well be Lars Sullivan's final opportunity as he rematches against Tex McKenzie of Best of the West.
And boy, was Too Short mad. You could count the veins in his neck. He was so mad.
And so Lars Sullivan has no margin for error in tonight's matchup.
Our second half opening match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Too Short, Popeye Scott Bell from the Colorado Rockies, weighing 289 pounds, Lars Sullivan.
Look at them, y'all. Like the Hollywood couple on the rocks, trying to keep up appearances like everything's just peaches and cream, when it's really roaches and screams. I seriously believe if Lars Sullivan loses this match tonight, Scotty is gonna banish his ass to Siberia.
It's a humiliation ritual. That's why he's having Sullivan do the match with Tex McKenzie over again.
And Scott Bell was absolutely incensed at Lars Sullivan's indiscretion with a baseball bat a couple of weeks ago on Tex McKenzie. It's a move he had better not repeat tonight.
Just think about it, guys. This could be Tex McKenzie's last match in RWL ever. Wouldn't that be great?
Chill, Myron. He hasn't screwed it all up just yet.
You're right. I should wait.
However, on the other side of the argument, Scott Bell really does not have a great deal of talent available within his stable, and Lars Sullivan could still be a linchpin.
This is what my father Morris Schimmelman used to call a stone effing idiot.
His opponent, accompanied by Mid-South champion Billy White Moon from Corpus Christi, Texas, weighing 290 pounds, the Lone Star Superstar, Tex McKenzie.
Tex McKenzie, the winner of the previous encounter with Lars Sullivan through no fault of his own, is going to try and make it 2 victories to nothing over Lars Sullivan this evening.
I think this one's a safe bet for everybody. You just know, Lars Sullivan couldn't beat Tex McKenzie if Lars had a twin brother along for a handicap match. So really, this one's gonna be all about how Lars Sullivan screws it up and gets himself fired on the spot. At least, that's kinda what I'm hoping for anyway.
A great deal riding on this match for Lars Sullivan. It is do or die, sink or swim here. Referee Tom Kanamura sounds the bell. Here we go. McKenzie opens up with a kick, a right, a jab. Lars Sullivan up over the shoulders of Tex McKenzie. Slammed face first into the canvas, followed up with a stomp to the back. McKenzie catches an arm drag from Lars Sullivan. Sullivan with a clubbing overhand right. A hard whip to Tex McKenzie into the far corner. McKenzie quickly counters a clothesline that barely makes Lars Sullivan flinch. Not once, but twice. The drop kick fails to make the impact also. Lars Sullivan showing out with some power here. Lars Sullivan tries to pick up McKenzie, no dice. Another clothesline that doesn't have any impact. Fireman's carried. Look at this. Too short Popeye. Introducing a chair into the mix here. That's going to come back to haunt him, I can guarantee it. Tex McKenzie counters out of the corner. Hard whips Sullivan into the corner. Rebound off the rope. Slams Sullivan face first. And here goes Scott Bell up on his hind legs already, starting an argument with Tex McKenzie. Shoulders. A trap squeeze from Lars Sullivan, blocking the blood flow to the brain of Tex McKenzie, and down he goes. Lars Sullivan follows it up with a stomp. An elbow to the midsection from Tex McKenzie. 1, 2, 3 little hard rights, and down goes Lars Sullivan. Too short Popeye. In desperation, trying to manipulate the turnbuckle as the referee dispatches the chair. Sullivan counters back up on his feet, swings and misses with the clothesline. Tex McKenzie, kick to the midsection, rounds up Lars Sullivan, has him up vertical suplex. Billy White Moon looking on. Here we go, there's the cover. 1, but just a 1. Lars Sullivan still in the game here. Mid-South champion Billy White Moon watching his tag team partner from Best of the West go to work here. Whipped into the corner, Lars Sullivan charges. Splash takes McKenzie down face first to the canvas. Lars Sullivan starting to sweat a little bit here. A series of stomps to Tex McKenzie. McKenzie winds up the arm and snaps it. Lars Sullivan surprised here. Up over the shoulders, but Sullivan counters into a Russian leg sweep. Down goes Tex McKenzie. McKenzie making his way to a standing position here. Lars Sullivan just staring daggers at Tex McKenzie. Well, for God's sake, don't just stand there. Do something. Hard right from Lars Sullivan. Sullivan rounds up Tex McKenzie. Whips him to the ropes. Clothesline takes Tex McKenzie down. Sullivan rounds him up again. Spinning. One arm slam. Down he goes, and here's a cover. 1, 2. And certainly Lars Sullivan's performance has improved this evening. Tex McKenzie finding himself in some trouble here as he is dragged center ring by Lars Sullivan. Begins driving knees into the head and shoulder area of Tex McKenzie. Lars Sullivan catching a back body drop. McKenzie quickly back on the attack here, stalking Lars Sullivan right in front of Too Short Popeye Scott Bell. Here we go. He goes behind. There's the suplex with a pin. 1, 2, 3. This one's all over. Tex McKenzie defeats Lars Sullivan by pinfall.
Here's the time, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And your winner, Tex McKenzie.
McKenzie winning this one fair and square. The 1, 2, 3 pinfall over Lars Sullivan. And it could be the end of the line for Mr. Sullivan as far as Scott Bell is concerned.
If Scott forgives Sullivan at all, it's because Scott's a punk to his name. And I'm beginning to think that's what he's gonna do.
I hope not.
Don has a point about Sullivan being Bell's only real power player. Plus, he did have a pretty good moment or two. But most importantly, he didn't do anything. In your face, stupid tonight. Maybe Bell will cut the big dummy some slack.
That's what I'm afraid of. It's starting to sound more and more plausible, Christy. Oh well, it was a fun dream while it lasted.
Tex McKenzie going 2 for 2 against Lars Sullivan. And Lars Sullivan clearly facing an uncertain future as far as Scott Bell's stable is concerned. And will return with more RWL Rage right after the break. See you there. As Snarl continues, up next, one half of the Rage Tag Team Champions, Tommy Wilcox, the Cocoa Beach Wonderkind, accompanied by the Fairfield Fox, Faye Crawford. And Tommy Wilcox will be in one-on-one action against Kushida.
The next non-title match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, representing Japan 5-Star Wrestling, from Tokyo, Japan, weighing 192 pounds, Kushida.
Okay, we've seen Kushida perform a number of times, both on Snarl and Rage and as part of the Japan 5-Star Collaborative Tour. And Kushida, well, I'm not sure what his gimmick is. I suppose he patterns himself as to be some sort of Japanese time-traveling Doctor Who.
That's a gimmick they gave him in WWE. He got pigeonholed. He got stuck with it.
And tonight, Kushida finds himself one-on-one with Tommy Wilcox, the Cocoa Beach Wonderkin, one half of the Rage Tag Team Champions, along with Oliver Hollywood.
Kushida is going to have a hard time tonight. Wilcox has been mad hot in both the single and tag team departments. And he has been since he and Hollywood took the Rage tag belts from Wild Fortune. It's shaping up to be a good one though.
His opponent accompanied by the Fairfield Fox Faye Crawford, from Cocoa Beach, Florida, weighing 218 pounds, one half of the Rage Tag Team Champions, Tommy Wilcox.
Here he comes along with Faye Crawford, the Fairfield Fox, the one-man star of the Tommy Wilcox Show, but also one half of the Rage Tag Team Championships with Oliver Hollywood. Tommy Wilcox, the Cocoa Beach Wonderkin, definitely hot lately. And he's going to have his hands full against Kushida, who has demonstrated he is a competent wrestler in single competition.
Wilcox was such a slacker when he started out. Dude needed someone like Faye Crawford to move him in the right direction and get his lazy but motivated, because look at him now. Faye Crawford is definitely the great woman behind Tommy Wilcox.
Wilcox has indisputably gone places with Faye Crawford behind him. Well, Tommy Wilcox certainly enjoying a resurgence of success. And let's see how he fares here against Kushida. Willie Johnson sounds the bell. Here we go. They lock up. Look at this. Tommy Wilcox right away with the whirligig. Taking Kushida for a ride. Kushida quickly counters with a shot to the back, a rebound off the ropes, and whoa, a bulldog. And down went Tommy Wilcox, who responds with a heel kick, taking Kushida down, following it up with a kick to the back. Kushida rounded up by Wilcox. Tommy Wilcox nails him with a jawbreaker, and down he goes. Kushida on the defensive here. Tommy Wilcox lays in a heel hook stretch on Kushida. Faye Crawford, the Fairfield Fox, watching her fellow work from ringside. Wilcox opens up with a right, a left, a right, a chop. Locks up Kushida. Up over the shoulders. Double knees to the midsection. Kushida definitely on the defensive here as Wilcox gets ready to go high risk. Kushida slowly standing to his feet. Here we go. Whoa! Corkscrew arm drag. Beautifully done. Wilcox off the top rope. Beautiful shooting star. Tommy Wilcox really putting in the work here. And Kushida has gone so far with no answer, no rebuttal to Tommy Wilcox's offense. Wilcox rounds up Kushida. Sets him up against the ropes, but over the shoulder and over the top rope out onto the floor goes Wilcox. Kushida right out after him. A hard knee to the midsection. Kushida goes behind, takes down Tommy Wilcox with a helicopter spin. And a disrespectful slap to the top of the head. Kushida really starting to lay it in here with an arm breaker on Wilcox as the referee continues to count. Kushida locks up Wilcox. Sets him up. Whoa! Fisherman Buster from Kushida. Wilcox spun around with a hard right, counters with an elbow. Kushida counters. Baseman drop kick to the knee, takes Wilcox down to the floor. Wilcox rounded up again. Kushida pitches him towards the barricades. Tommy Wilcox finding himself in a bit of trouble on the outside. He was firmly in control on the inside, but that has now changed up. Kushida beating Tommy Wilcox against the barricade here. Wilcox counters with a kick. Gathers Kushida back up. Another kick, another chop, another kick, and whoa, a drop kick that took Kushida down hard. Beautiful moonsault. Tommy Wilcox liked it so much he's going to do it a second time. And the referee's still counting, trying to get these guys back inside the ring. Kushida catches an elbow from Wilcox. Wilcox quickly makes his way back inside. But whoa! Over the top rope heel kick right to the head of Kushida. Wilcox misses with the moonsault that time. Kushida just a step too fast. Kushida back inside the ring. Here comes Tommy Wilcox. In over the top rope. They lock up. Wilcox counters with elbows to Kushida. Tommy Wilcox. Whoa! That was beautiful. Tommy Wilcox with some really impressive skills here. Here's a kick to the midsection. Wilcox rebounds off the ropes. And a basement Hurricane Rana right to the top of the skull of Kushida. Tommy Wilcox countered by Kushida. There's a kick. Wilcox against the ropes. There's a snapmare. A rebound off the rope. Look at that block. Oh, what a beautiful move from Kushida. Kushida setting it up here. Tommy Wilcox center ring. Here he comes. Whoa, there's the running kick. Wilcox trying to get back to his feet. Kushida right there takes him with a, oh my, look at this. What a beautiful arm drag. Into a submission. Tommy Wilcox in big trouble here. Kushida laying it in, but whoa, Tommy Wilcox finding his way out of that submission. Kick to the midsection. Kushida setting it up. Whoa! A beautiful slam from Kushida on Tommy Wilcox. Misses with the moonsault. Tommy Wilcox sliding out of the way like liquid metal. And here we go again. Another whirligig, another ride for Kushida. Tommy Wilcox off the top rope, misses with the moonsault. Kushida steps out of the way. Counters with a moonsault of his own. And like the, whoa, these two competing absolutely to the peak of their ability. Wilcox, whoa, corkscrew, and here's a cover. 1, 2, no, barely just a 2. Kushida adamantly getting that right shoulder up for the ref to see. Wilcox delivers a kick to the back. The Cocoa Beach Wonderkin all the way up on the top turnbuckle, getting ready to go high risk on Kushida. And here it goes. Whoa, beautiful crossbody. Tommy Wilcox covers. 1, 2. But again, no, another near fall. And what a match we have had so far. Tommy Wilcox warming it up here. Kushida catches it. There it is, the Salida del Sol. There's the cover. 1, 2. Oh, so close. It's so far. Another moonsault from Tommy Wilcox. Kushida back up on his feet, charges. Look at this right here. Beautiful roll from Kushida. Wilcox gathered up again. Whoa, a knee to the arm. And a German suplex from Kushida. Kushida with wrist clutch stomps to the chest of Tommy Wilcox. Another moonsault. Ray Crawford beginning to look a little bit concerned on the outside for Tommy Wilcox. He is in quite a bit of plight right at the moment. Hard right, spins him around. Kushida goes behind, has him up, slams him right back down again. And Kushida certainly finding his groove. There's a clothesline. There's a second. Here comes Wilcox. Kushida puts on the brakes, sweeps the leg, takes him down. Wow. How about this here? Tommy Wilcox counters. Back up on his feet, slams Kushida face for, whoa. Got him right in the jaw. Wilcox up on the top rope. Double axe handle fails to connect. He catches a shot to the midsection from Kushida instead. Kushida now making his way to the top turnbuckle. And here we go. Whoa! That was beautiful. Kushida covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. And again, another near fall in this insanely intense matchup. Kushida rounds up Wilcox. Wilcox with an uppercut. Kick to the midsection. Tommy Wilcox rebounds off the ropes. Another basement Hurricane Rana, depositing Kushida right on the top of his head. Tommy Wilcox rounds him up, locks him up. Wilcox flips Kushida to the far corner. Tommy puts him up on the top turnbuckle. What's he got in mind here? Tommy Wilcox turns it. Whoa! Off the top turnbuckle, Salida del Sol. That could be it right there. There's a cover. 1, 2. And I don't believe it. Kushida somehow finding the wherewithal to break that pin, but Tommy Wilcox right there stalking him. Here we go again. Salida del Sol one more time. The referee in place. 1, 2. Oh! You cannot be serious. Where is Kushida finding it? Tommy Wilcox running out of patience here. All the way up on the top turnbuckle. One more time, Kushida getting to his feet. Here we go. Whoa! Wilcox with a little malfunction at the junction there. Locks him up. Kushida delivers a kick to the midsection. Wilcox with a kick. Rebounds off the bottom rope. And well, that did not work out for Tommy Wilcox. Kushida right there to pick up the pieces. Side suplex on Tommy Wilcox. A hard kick to the back from Kushida. Kushida stalking Tommy Wilcox now. And here we go. Rolls him over into the submission again, but too close to the ropes. Kushida starting to get a little frustrated himself. Nails Tommy Wilcox with a series of shots. Wilcox back up on his feet. Kushida goes behind. Wilcox quickly weasels out of the situation right there. Winds up the arm of Kushida. Takes him for a walk. Here we go, up the top rope arm drag. Kushida rolled out center ring. Tommy Wilcox back in control of this one. Slams Kushida's head to the canvas quickly, going for a cover. 1, 2. Absolutely unbelievable. Tommy Wilcox really letting Willie Johnson have it for his count. Slams Kushida's head to the canvas again. Another stomp to the arm. Tommy Wilcox really starting to run out of patience here. And here we go. Whoa, the 450 splash from Tommy Wilcox. And he's going to try it again. Look at this. One more time. Whoa, a leg drop across the midsection of Kushida. Here's a cover. 1, 2. And again, somehow, Kushida escapes and finds his way out of danger. Back up on his feet. Beating the head of Tommy Wilcox. Now Kushida moves in, locks up Tommy. Whoa! Drives him with a quick DDT. Kushida warming it up here. Here he comes. There's the kick. Tommy Wilcox rounded up again. And Kushida rolls him over. He's got him in the submission. Referee Willie Johnson checking on Tommy Wilcox. Wilcox in big time trouble. He is tapping out. That is it. I don't believe it. Kushida with an upset win over the Cocoa Beach Wonderkind. Let's go get the official time from Aria Mitchell.
Here's the time, 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Your winner by tap out, Kushida.
Well, sir, this was an unexpected outcome. Kushida battered, bruised, and bloody, but nonetheless the winner with a tap-out victory over the Cocoa Beach Wonderkind, Tommy Wilcox, and quite frankly, what a stunner.
That was a great match, and Tommy Wilcox, no question about it, Tommy Wilcox gave it his all. I don't believe Kushida made him tap out. That's incredible.
It's like we say all the time, you guys. Never say never, and always expect the unexpected. Kushida totally earned this win, and no one can tell me different. And what a great match into the bargain. Tommy Wilcox hasn't got anything to be embarrassed about. Still, what a win for Kushida.
the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, when we return. While the perfect life of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, is far from perfect without his $1 Million title, he at least has Jody Vorek back, the Memphis Millionaires, by his side tonight as he goes one-on-one against the Olympic strongman Ken Patera.
And joining us here for this match, we got Snarl GM Hangman Tex Lynch in the house. So Big Tex, what brings you out our way?
I ain't here to see Jody Vorek, that's for damn sure.
The next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring accompanied by Women's International Champion Jody Dvorak from Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 256 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
No, Tex, really, what brings you out our way?
Well, Dandy Don, it's like this. I'll be participating in the main event in a managerial position on behalf of my friend and tag team partner T-Dog Tomasio, who tonight is challenging Stefan von Berger for the Rage television title.
It's a big deal, because T-Dog is definitely ready. And Stefan von Berger, well, he's been running his mouth.
Yeah, he's another one to imply that T-Dog's some sort of wrestling rodeo clown, and quite frankly, I don't appreciate it.
And of course, Tex, I wish you and T-Dog all the luck in the world, but let's return our attention to the $1 Million Man, reunited with Jody Vorek, the Memphis Millionaires, this evening for this matchup against Olympic strongman Ken Patera.
His opponent, from Portland, Oregon, weighing 270 pounds, the Olympic strongman, Ken Patera.
It's been 9 months since Ken Patera made his last appearance, on Snarl against Josef von Schmidt. He's definitely got all the power advantage over Ted DiBiase. But we all know the deal. If Ted don't cheat, then Jody Dvorak will just cheat for him. I'm sure Ted is tickled pink having Jody back at ringside.
Even having Jody Vorek back at ringside isn't going to save Ted DiBiase from the Olympic strongman's power. Ken Patera, of course, a power lifter with a bodybuilder's build, rivaling that of Tony Atlas or Rocky Johnson.
Well, the $1 Million Man better be on his guard. If Ken Patera gets in a good couple of bear hugs, this could be all over real quick.
So, Tex, how's Danielle?
She's doing all right. She's madder than a wet hen, but figured we'd take a night out on the town here in Greensboro and come by and see the show. Well, haven't been disappointed. It's been a great card so far, Myron.
It most certainly has, Tex, and this Legends Division matchup between Ted DiBiase and Ken Patera proves to be no exception. And here we go. Willie Johnson sounds the bell. DiBiase swings, manages to get in one chop on Ken Patera, has him up over the shoulder, deposits him head first against the turnbuckle. Patera quickly back up again, takes a shoulder tackle, right back down to the canvas again. The $1 Million Man driving persistent, repetitive knees into the knee of Ken Patera. Patera rounded back up again, a hard right from DiBiase. DiBiase takes him down to the canvas again. Into a spinning toe hold here. Really working the legs of Ken Patera, keeping him off his vertical base. The $1 Million Man up on the middle rope, turns himself around. Uh-oh, here we go. Elbow drop right across the chest of Ken Patera, with Jody Vorek cheering on the $1 Million Man. DiBiase drives a knee into the head of Ken Patera. A chop, a left, a chop again. Ken Patera reeling. Patera trying to battle back, drives a knee into the midsection. A suplex from Ken Patera. Patera putting the boots to the shoulder of the $1 Million Man. And oh well, here we go. Ken Patera going to work here. Spinning neckbreaker from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase with a sadistic stomp of the face and a falling fist drop from Ted DiBiase. Ken Patera counters back up on his feet. A hard right hand stuns Ted DiBiase. DiBiase counters with a kick. The $1 Million Man rounds up Ken Patera. He's got him by the trunks, and here we go. Vertical suplex from the $1 Million Man. Ken Patera in trouble here. And again, the $1 Million Man just putting the boot right to the side of the head of Ken Patera, doing it over and over again. The $1 Million Man displaying a seriously sadistic streak. Whoa! Since the return of Jody Dvorak. And now the only thing left on his target list is to regain the $1 Million Championship from the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Ken Patera really taking a beating here from the $1 Million Man. DiBiase rounds Patera up. Patera locks up DiBiase, whips him into the corner. Ken Patera trying to put out the fire here. Head first into the buckle goes the $1 Million Man. Hard right hand from Patera. Hard elbows to the side of the head of the $1 Million Man. Down he goes. Ken Patera regaining the advantage here. He is battered and bleeding, with the $1 Million Man in a submission center ring, but Ted DiBiase finding his way out and slipping out the back door. Ken Patera locks him up again. Has him up, but Ted DiBiase counters. Chop block to the knee, takes Ken Patera down to the canvas. Ken Patera in trouble again. DiBiase working the legs of Ken Patera again. DiBiase rounds up Ken Patera, whips him out over onto the apron. Ken Patera hangs Ted DiBiase up over the top rope. They lock up again. The $1 Million Man again working on the legs. That spinning toe hold on Ken Patera. He may be working towards some sort of submission down the road. Ken Patera counters quickly, gets back up on his feet, locks up Ted DiBiase. Has him up. Whoa! Backbreaker. Drives the knee right into the lower back of the $1 Million Man. Ken Patera does it again. Follows it up with a stomp to the midsection. And now into a submission on the $1 Million Man. Again, Ted DiBiase fighting his way out and escaping the hold. Jody Dvorak definitely cheering him on. A series of hard shots to Ken Patera. The $1 Million Man whips him into the far corner. Ted DiBiase rounds up Ken Patera, scoop slams him. The $1 Million Man on the middle rope, falling elbow right into the midsection of Ken Patera. DiBiase covers. 1, 2, and whoa, Ken Patera, despite everything, still finding his way out of the pin. Back on his feet, Ken Patera rounds up DiBiase, suplexes him. DiBiase charges, clothesline. Damn near took Ken Patera's head off, followed up with a stomp from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase locking it in here. He's got the submission locked in. Ken Patera in big time trouble here. Ken Patera, he's tapping. That is it, the $1 Million Man picking up a submission win over Ken Patera.
Here's the time, 5 minutes and 8 seconds, and your winner, Ted DiBiase.
Well, the $1 Million Man, oh, here we go again. Ted DiBiase pulling that $100 bill out of you-know-where after being involved in you-know-what with you-know-who. And oh man, this is absolutely unnecessary, disgusting conduct, unbecoming a millionaire for sure, Tex.
Damn right it is. Wouldn't catch me doing that. That's a waste of a good $100 bill.
I mean, it's bad enough you beat the guy. Christie's right. That needs to be banned. It's unsanitary too. That DiBiase for Wheeler for Wall picking up the win over Ken Patera. Hangman Tex Lynch, good luck to you and T-Dog Tomasio. A little later on in the main event with Stefan Von Berger for the Rage television title.
Thanks, Dandy Don. We're gonna do our very best. Folks, we'll be back with more RWL Rage right after this. Don't go anywhere.
All right, up next, here's one that we've been expecting to come down the pike for a long time, but it has finally come to fruition. Das Deutschenhammer Josef von Schmidt set to go one-on-one against the Olympic hero Kurt Angle.
And Josef von Schmidt is determined to get himself back on the map again.
next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Berlin, Germany, weighing 275 pounds, the German super soldier, Josef von Schmidt.
Well, it was a long, lean 2024 for Das Deutschenhammer Josef von Schmidt, but he is determined to make it back into the race for championship gold. And this match tonight against Kurt Angle could be a stepping stone in that direction.
Von Schmidt is due, but the way I'm seeing it, he's probably going to have to go through Rob Torres first.
Oh, hey. Von Schmidt versus the Sultan of Sexy. I'd tell you to make a note of it, but I know you already done it.
That's why keep this little notepad handy, Christy.
Indeed, Josef von Schmidt versus Rob Torres definitely would be one to see.
His opponent, accompanied by Miss Georgia Washington, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing 228 pounds, Kurt Angle.
Oh, look, they're together twice in one show. Somebody called the Vatican. We got a miracle on our hands.
Kurt Angle and Georgia Washington making the scene this evening. And Kurt Angle certainly wanting to get past Josef von Schmidt every bit as badly as von Schmidt wants to get past Kurt Angle and towards the same goal, an opportunity for championship gold here in RWL. And if anyone's capable and qualified enough, it would certainly be the Olympic hero Kurt Angle.
I think Kurt Angle would probably go a whole lot farther if he'd just get rid of Georgia Washington, just carrying around dead weight for crying out loud.
For real though, Myron. What's she doing for him really? And she's just all about herself and her career anyway. He should definitely dump that dead weight. He'd be so much more popular.
That's what I'm saying.
Boy, both contestants coiled and ready to spring in this matchup. Wow. This is gonna be good. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. Josef von Schmidt with a snapmare on Kurt Angle. Angle back up on his feet, locks up with Josef von Schmidt. Von Schmidt shoves him down to the canvas. Angle quickly back up on his feet, locks up with von Schmidt again. Von Schmidt goes behind, rear waist lock, and slams down. Kurt Angle not releasing the rear waist lock. Angle back up on his feet quickly, goes behind. Von Schmidt counters, goes behind, back into the rear waist lock again. A snapmare from Kurt Angle and a rear headlock. Wow. Some impressive chain wrestling from these two. Von Schmidt caught in a dragon sleeper, an uppercut from Kurt Angle. He bounces off the ropes, whip to the ropes. Here we go, collision with no result. Angle locks up with Von Schmidt. Von Schmidt shoves him down again. Angle quickly back up on his feet, swings and misses, catches a right from Von Schmidt. Counters. Kurt Angle slams him down with one arm. Josef von Schmidt tagged with a right and barely flinches. Rounds up Kurt Angle effortlessly, deposits him headfirst into the turnbuckle. Josef von Schmidt rounds Angle up again. Angle goes behind quickly, counters, and a belly-to-belly suplex from Kurt Angle. Josef von Schmidt counters with a right. Whoa! Slammed down to the canvas right in front of the Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington. Kurt Angle counters with a kick to the midsection. Angle catches an elbow from von Schmidt. Whip to the far corner. Das Deutschenhammer catches a counter from Kurt Angle. Von Schmidt counters, gouges the face of Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle quickly counters, goes behind on Von Schmidt, suplexes him. The Olympic hero with Josef von Schmidt down on the canvas. He better keep him down. Angle rounds him up again, sets him up, belly-to-belly suplex a second time from Kurt Angle. Josef von Schmidt is laid out. Von Schmidt trying to make his way to his feet. Kurt Angle right there, goes behind on Von Schmidt, another German suplex from Das Deutschenhammer. Von Schmidt back up on his feet, a kick to the midsection. Von Schmidt counters with a couple of shots to the midsection of Kurt Angle. Running knee takes Angle down to the canvas. Von Schmidt drags him center ring. And there's an elbow drop right across the chest of Kurt Angle. Josef von Schmidt Seats Angle up into a seated position, gouging the face of Kurt Angle. Josef von Schmidt determined to win this matchup. Angle sets him up. Whoa, beautiful suplex from Kurt Angle. Here's a cover. Oh, not even a one. Josef von Schmidt powering out easily. Kurt Angle winds up the arm, catches a clothesline from von Schmidt instead. Von Schmidt rounds him up, sets it up. Boom, there's the hard punch. This could be the end right here. 1, 2, almost, but not quite. Kurt Angle powering out of the hard punch. Fairly impressive. The Olympic hero catches an elbow, counters with a forearm, puts von Schmidt into the corner. Von Schmidt counters and escapes the corner, puts Angle into the corner, and hurls him halfway to the other side of the ring. Von Schmidt rounds him out. Disrespectful slap across the face. Takes Angle down to one knee. Kurt Angle counters with a knee to the midsection. Whoa! Swing and a miss from Kurt Angle. Von Schmidt rounds him up again. There's another elbow. Kurt Angle counters with a forearm. Von Schmidt against the ropes. Josef von Schmidt draped against the middle rope by Kurt Angle. There's a hard kick to the midsection. And now Kurt Angle trying to unscrew the head of Josef von Schmidt. Von Schmidt rounded up by Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle turns him around, goes behind. Look at this. Whoa! Into a reverse, rear choke. Kurt Angle powered out quickly by Josef von Schmidt. That rear naked choke did not work out. A series of forearms from von Schmidt. Kurt Angle battles his way out of the corner. Rounds up von Schmidt. Snap suplex. Kurt Angle beginning to show signs of fatigue here, as this match has carried on for some time. Kurt Angle covers one, but just a one. Wow, Josef von Schmidt displaying a great deal of resilience here. Fails to connect with the overhand right. Kurt Angle counters, takes him down with a one-arm slam. The Olympic hero showing out here. Von Schmidt on the outside. Catches an elbow from Kurt Angle. A kick to the midsection from von Schmidt. Kurt Angle counters von Schmidt again. Charges. Von Schmidt quickly counters with a kick to the midsection. Josef von Schmidt countered by Kurt Angle. Angle with a German suplex on the outside. Referee Walt Rothburn continuing to count these two. Kurt Angle rolls von Schmidt back inside the ring. Here he comes. Kurt Angle moving in on von Schmidt. Von Schmidt back up on his feet. Takes him down. Wraps him a series of shots right to the head. Josef von Schmidt rolls back up on... Oh, Kurt Angle's definitely lost it. Kurt Angle backs off von Schmidt. Von Schmidt quickly putting the brakes on him. Here's a hard punch that takes Angle down. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3, and whoa, just like that, this one is all over. Josef von Schmidt defeats Kurt Angle by pinfall.
Here's the time, 6 minutes and 13 seconds, and your winner, Josef von Schmidt.
Das Deutschenhammer putting the brakes on a possible onslaught by Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was ready to explode out of the gate, but Josef von Schmidt put a stop to him with that second hard punch. There's the first one on the replay, but Josef von Schmidt putting out the lights for Kurt Angle and getting himself the 3-count pinfall over the Olympic hero. A much-needed win for Das Deutschenhammer Josef von Schmidt. When we return, the Rage Television Championship on the line. Stefan von Berger defending the title against T-Dog Tomasio right after the break. Tonight's Rage main event, T-Dog Tomasio with a huge opportunity. The Rage Television Championship on the line, defended by reigning champion Stefan von Berger, accompanied as always by Sylvia Strong.
Tonight's Rage main event is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL Rage Television Championship.
This whole main event stemming from a situation between Sylvia Strong and General Manager Hangman Tex Lynch over at Snarl. Apparently, Stefan Von Berger making some disparaging remarks regarding T-Dog Tomasio, Hangman Tex Lynch's Masks Incorporated tag team partner and friend of long standing. Well, Hangman Tex Lynch putting his Memphis Millionaire money where his mouth is, staking $25,000 that Stefan Von Berger cannot beat T-Dog Tomasio, against T-Dog Tomasio becoming the new Rage Television Champion. What a wager between the Snarl General Manager and Sylvia Strong, two-time Manageress of the Year. This one's gonna be a wild main event. Can't wait to see the outcome on this one.
Favoring Von Berger is a foregone conclusion for me. I like T-Dog and everything, but Von Berger is playing on a different level these days, and I don't know that Tomasio is going to be able to keep up. I just don't see T-Dog pulling this one off.
And here is the reigning Rage Television Champion Stefan Von Berger, the Teutonic technician from Heidelberg, Germany, accompanied by Sylvia Strong. And he has been Rage Television Champion for quite some time now. And it doesn't look like he's going to be willing to just hand it over just because of who T-Dog Tomasio happens to be, especially since he doesn't care very much for T-Dog Tomasio or his stylings.
If Von Berger had any sense of class, he would have kept his big mouth shut.
Yeah, there was no need for him to be stirring the pot against a guy who really wasn't posing any kind of real threat to him until he started talking trash about the guy. Can't blame Tex of T-Dog for being annoyed.
And that right there, fans, is what it's all about, the RWL Rage Television Championship, hanging in the balance in tonight's main event.
The challenger, accompanied by Hangman Tex Lynch, from parts unknown, weighing 240 pounds. Here is T-Dog Tomasio. His opponent, accompanied by Sylvia Strong, from Heidelberg, Germany, weighing 312 pounds. The Rage Television Champion, Stefan Von Berger.
Stefan Von Berger has certainly grown as a performer in the Stronghold. Of course, one half of the Insiders with Big Jake Blackwell and the current Rage Television Champion. He's about to put that title on the line here. And well, it's got to be a nerve-wracking moment for Stefan Von Berger. This is the most pressure T-Dog Tomasio has had to endure in his post-Masks Incorporated career. Here we go. Willie Johnson rings the bell. They lock up T-Dog Tomasio with a choke lift on Von Berger. Von Berger gouges the eyes of T-Dog Tomasio. Stefan Von Berger drives a knee into the back of T-Dog. Stefan Von Berger takes himself topside. Here we go. Misses with the driving knees. T-Dog Tomasio right there to pick up the pieces. Whoa, Von Berger puts a stop on him and delivers a headbutt. T-Dog Tomasio counters with a kick to the midsection, locks it up. Another choke lift and another eye gouge from Stefan Von Berger. Von Berger goes behind. Big time Russian leg sweep. And raining hard right hands on the head of T-Dog Tomasio, followed up by hard left hands and a stomp to the midsection. Stefan Von Berger, the Teutonic technician, opening fire on T-Dog Tomasio, determined to hang on to the Rage Television title. One half of the Insiders with Big Jake Blackwell. Stefan Von Berger on the canvas. T-Dog Tomasio delivers a stomp to the shoulder. Does it again. Hangman Tex Lynch standing ringside looking supremely confident. And his tag team partner, T-Dog Tomasio, up on the top. Whoa, look at this. A hard shot to the face of Blackwell and a double axe handle. Takes him down to the canvas. T-Dog Tomasio returning fire on Stefan Von Berger. The Rage Television title hanging in the balance here. T-Dog Tomasio opens up with a series of shots and a hard right hand that takes Von Berger down to the canvas, followed up with a stomp to the shoulder. Stefan Von Berger on the defensive here. T-Dog Tomasio whips Von Berger out onto the apron. Von Berger counters with a right. Brings himself back in over... Whoa! And takes T-Dog Tomasio down with a knee in the process. Von Berger taken down by T-Dog Tomasio. Hangman Tex Lynch rallying the troops here. Tomasio rounds up Von Berger, 300 plus pounds, hung up on the top rope. The Dogster rounds up Stefan Von Berger, pitches him to the corner. T-Dog quickly making his way to the top turnbuckle, and here we go, elbow across the chest. Wow! Stefan Von Berger in big time trouble as T-Dog Tomasio gonna go for it again. I don't believe it. Stefan Von Berger back up on his feet. No, misses with the double axe handle that time. A hard right to the back of the head. T-Dog Tomasio compensating for the mistake here. Rounds up Von Berger. Von Berger quickly escaping that move. Takes down T-Dog Tomasio. Schoolyard bully pummeling here from the Teutonic technician. Stefan Von Berger. T-Dog Tomasio counters with a kick to the head. T-Dog again with a stomp to the shoulder of Stefan Von Berger. Repeating the process several times. T-Dog, whoa, he's got him by the throat. Look at this. A choke slam from T-Dog Tomasio. Determined to win this matchup and become the new Rage television champion. Dragging the rather ponderous bulk of Stefan Von Berger center ring. Here goes for a cover. 1, 2, and only a 2 count. Von Berger still in the game here. T-Dog Tomasio going back to work here. Redoubling the effort here. Uh-oh, here he goes. He's setting him up for the big dog bite power bomb. And there it is. T-Dog Tomasio won this one with... Oh, man, here we go. 1, 2. Oh! Well, now, Stefan Von Berger getting that shoulder up. T-Dog Tomasio's won many a match with that powerbomb. Jawbreaker from Stefan Von Berger. Von Berger draws a knee. A spiked knee right into the head of Tomasio. A series of forearms. Von Berger with a spear. And here we go with a cover. 1, 2. And another almost 3, but T-Dog Tomasio getting the right shoulder up. Hangman Tex Lynch rallying T-Dog not to give up, to stick it out and fight it out here. Oh, well, here we go. Von Berger with a submission on T-Dog Tomasio. This could be the end. T-Dog Tomasio in big trouble. Can't get to the ropes. Is he going to tap out? Von Berger releasing the hold. Can't imagine why, but he did. A series of short kicks to the head of T-Dog Tomasio, followed up with a series of hard right hands. A stomp to the midsection. Tomasio turns it around. Delivers a couple of lefts to the head of Stefan Von Berger. T-Dog with a kick to the leg. Von Berger counters, rolls back up to his feet. Again, T-Dog Tomasio countering. Sylvia Strong looking slightly concerned here. T-Dog Tomasio all the way up on the top turnbuckle with Stefan Von Berger standing himself up. Here we go. He tagged him that time with the double axe handle. Stomp to the midsection. T-Dog Tomasio currently in control here. A possible submission on Stefan Von Berger. Von Berger was nowhere to go. Referee Willie Johnson checking him. But Stefan Von Berger yanks the leg out, sweeps the leg, escapes the hold, and here we go again. Von Berger misses with a couple of shots. T-Dog Tomasio hauls him halfway across the ring by his hair. Von Berger back up on his feet. T-Dog Tomasio escorts him to the corner, head first into the turnbuckle. T-Dog yanking the arm of Von Berger, using the ropes for leverage. The Dogster moves back in. Hard whip into the corner. Here goes. Whoa! Clothesline takes down Von Berger. Stefan Von Berger on the receiving end of some bad business here. Here's an elbow across the chest from the Dogster. Currently in control of this matchup. The Rage television title on the line. Von Berger hung up against the ropes. T-Dog bouncing him off the ropes with hard forearms to the back. Von Berger with a shot, a rebound off the ropes, a clothesline that takes T-Dog Tomasio down. A stomp to the arm from Stefan Von Berger. Von Berger making his way up to the top. Here we go. Drives a knee right across the chest of T-Dog Tomasio. Now hard right hands again from the Teutonic technician Stefan von Berger. A series of kicks. T-Dog Tomasio now finding himself back in trouble again as Stefan von Berger reassumes control of this Rage television title matchup. Knees into the back of T-Dog Tomasio. T-Dog turns it around again. A couple of hard forearms to the head of von Berger. T-Dog Tomasio setting him up again. The dog bite power bomb, but no. Back body drop from Stefan von Berger. And it looks like he's stalking for the end here. T-Dog Tomasio could be in trouble. Von Berger, hard shot to the midsection, a kick to the head. A couple of hard shots on forearm. T-Dog Tomasio on the ropes. Stefan von Berger again yanking the arm against the ropes. Spinning discus punch, down goes T-Dog Tomasio right in front of Sylvia Strong. Stefan von Berger looking to wrap this one up quick here. What is he? T-Dog Tomasio quickly back up on his feet. Von Berger counters with a kick. Another series of running forearms and another spear. Here we go. Here's the cover. 1, 2. And again, only a 2. Von Berger very much annoyed with Willie Johnson. A stomp to the midsection. T-Dog slips out the back door. Delivers a kick to the leg. Locks up Von Berger. Von Berger whipped to the corner. Here we go, clothesline, and here we go. Oh, man. Rebounded out, over the shoulder, head first into the turnbuckle. T-Dog rebounds off the ropes. A running kick to the face. Another rebound off the rope, and a leg drop. What a combination from the Dogster. Von Berger quickly back up on his feet. T-Dog Tomasio counters with elbows. The Dogster misses with his swing. Rounds up Von Berger in any case. Drives a knee into the back of Von Berger. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2, no. Stefan von Berger powering out of the pin yet again. Hangman takes Lynch. Partying, sensing victory could be near. Here we go, elbow across the chest of Stefan von Berger. T-Dog Tomasio rounds him up. He's got the choke slam set up, and boom, there it is. Here we go. T-Dog Tomasio not quite finished just yet. Von Berger back up on his feet. Here it is. T-Dog Tomasio setting it up. The dog bite power bomb again. And boom, there it is. T-Dog Tomasio goes for the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. I do not believe it. T-Dog Tomasio, the new Rage television champion. Shut up, as Tex would say.
Here's the time. 9 minutes and 55 seconds. Your winner and the new RWL Rage television champion, T-Dog Tomasio.
Well, fans, how about this? The Dogster pulling a rabbit out of the hat for sure, picking up an upset win over the Teutonic technician Stefan von Berger to become the new RWL Rage television champion. And you've got to know, Hangman Takes Lynch has got to be extremely proud of his Masks Incorporated tag team partners. They will be a celebration in Greensboro tonight. Well, fans, what a rare night it has been on RWL Rage, but that concludes this week's edition. We thank you, as always, for joining us. Be sure to stick around, because coming up next, it's going to be Hangman Takes Lynch, Wally Cardell, and Johnny Bianco on RWL Snarl coming up this Saturday. We'll see you next time here at Rage. For all of us, I've been Don Hickson. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you next time at ringside. Good night, everybody.